What I'm about to say is probably not gonna be nice to a lot of people, but it is what it is. I ain't gonna start really cussing because the YouTube policy says certain words you can't use right now, right? But I'm gonna cut to the chase with this. We talk about how the gender war and the gender war, and I really kind of haven't talked about it a lot recently, but I listen to a lot of the material and I listen to a lot of people who's podcasts about it. And in all honesty, man, basically at the end of the day, the gender war is going to continue because people are stupid. And what I mean by stupid is people are out here not even talking about real relationship issues. People are out here making up scenarios that make them feel good to make their talking point feel good, which lets me know you ain't even in the real world. So why are you talking about this? You get what I'm saying? It's got to the point where I look at people sideways because I'm like, you're having a issue with the opposite sex still for 3, 4, 5, 10 years for stuff that's not that you don't deal with. You don't have any intimate knowledge of these things happening. And then for the other people, I gotta have this conversation about why it continues is because the gender war continues because at the end of the day, it's a topic that can help you waste time because you want to blame all of your faults on somebody that you may or may not have been in a relationship with. This is why I'm saying it continues. Because the gender war is supposed to, what men and women are going through, but in all honesty, now y'all blaming y'all self-sabotaging stupidity on the opposite sex. So now it's men's fault that you've been stupid for the last 10 years. And it's not. It's your fault. Because now people are making these ridiculous fantasy statements. We've went through all of the rhetoric. We've had the conversation with the men and the women for years. We had people grifting off of it. Now it's a now it's a topic to make money off of. But at some point, you're gonna have to take into consideration that, hey, maybe, just maybe, these people who are doing this gender war stuff, they know that it makes money. So that's why they're putting a lot of sauce on these conversations. And that was happening years ago. But now y'all want to play this game over and over and over again. You got the this is what men should do. This is why you have this whole situation where now you got young women mad at young men because they're not millionaires to take care of them because they are lazy and they're supposed to be lazy because they were born a woman. And and this is a issue of contention. No, it's an issue of laziness and stupidity. Nobody in their right mind told you that, yeah, you don't have to do anything in life. Somebody that you don't know is going to come along and you could disrespect them if they don't give you all the things in life that you ain't worked for yourself. You're stupid. That's what that is. You're an idiot. I saw a guy say something today like, you know, well, if I got with a woman and she wasn't a virgin, then I should be able to cheat on her. Dude, you not a virgin. So should she be able to cheat on you? What are you going to say? No, because I'm a man. You're stupid. Y'all making these ridiculous arguments that have nothing to do with relationships and have more to do with you want to be able to get over on somebody because you're a lazy idiot. And now you want to throw other people under the bus because they don't want to pay for your lifestyle or make the sacrifices for your fantasy lifestyle. That's what's been going on. So, of course, the gender war is going to continue. Of course it is. You out here making up stuff to be mad at. I have preferences. Okay, you got preferences. Here's the thing. You're ugly. Who cares? You're ugly with preferences. Oh, and it's a problem now because your preferences you can't get what you want. You're overweight, but you got preferences. Okay, but you can't get what you want. You broke, but you got preferences of having somebody with money, but you can't get with somebody with money. Y'all have gone to a point where nobody's going to believe you. See, now we're entering into a stage where, oh, y'all just need something to argue about because you actually don't know how to actually sit down and have a conversation with the opposite sex. So all you're going to do is revert back to being a kindergartner and arguing with the person that you say you like. At some point, you got to put two and two together. It ain't that difficult to get along with people in general. That's becoming the problem now. And the gender war became a springboard for all these people and their ridiculous political beliefs. It went to a springboard and their ridiculous materialistic beliefs. People are just flat out stupid now. You got people out here, oh, you need to get back to traditionalism and the family values. Man, if you don't shut up, you have no idea about traditionalism and family values. That's just some made up political talking point. What did your family do that was tradition? We got all this traditionalism and nobody can tell me what the traditions was in their family. I know you making stuff up. You got the materialism. I need this and I need that. What do you need all of this stuff for? You need a lot of expensive, meaningless stuff. That's what you're telling me. You need expensive stuff that really don't do much, but it's a status symbol. You mean to tell me to feel important and to feel like your life is together, somebody needs to get you meaningless things so other people can see that they might have money. Man, if you don't get your bum ass up out of here, you let me know what you was at that particular point. You're a person who didn't have much. The other part about the gender war is a lot of these people at this particular point, you're really having a gender war because nobody's taking care of you anymore. You're an adult. Now you're looking for somebody to be your damn parents. That's what the gender war is now. Who's gonna take over like my mom and dad? Who can I call like my aunt and uncle for money? That's what this is. You never intended on being an adult. So we gotta have a gender war. Y'all better stop listening to some of these people, man. You got people 30, 40, 50 years old, haven't had a serious relationship, been in situationships for the last 10 years, 10, 15, 20 years. Man, but we're going to tell you about what's going on. No, you're not. No, you're not. You can't tell nobody about what's going on because you in the house. You a hermit. You're not going out like that. The whole society has become really sedentary and in the house. Let's talk about the gender war. We out in the streets. What you out in the streets doing? Nothing. You want to talk about gender war when you looking at a hookah bar smoking, because somebody won't buy you some lamb chops. Now it's a gender war. No, motherfucker, that's not a gender war. That's just somebody not buying something for you for free. That's all that is. But it's gonna continue because people are entitled now, super entitled, and nobody's telling them, "Hey, man, nah, you don't deserve that. You just making stuff up now." Just like years ago, I went to school and I got an education. What does that have to do with getting along with another person? Absolutely nothing. Hey man, I got a degree in physics. Okay. So because I got a degree in physics, I should be able to have whatever I want. What are you talking about? What are you talking about right now? So now we're at a point where it's just like, okay, it's not really a gender war. It's more of an agenda war. My agenda is to make myself say, how can I say this properly? The agenda is I want to make myself, to the world, say, I'm so fly and I'm so important that all these other people around me need to pay me for my time. That's what y'all doing. You know, no, it was it, no, because here's the interesting thing about, and I understand what you're saying, right? Here's the interesting thing about traditionalism. When I ask, what were the traditions? I know them. The barbecuing was a tradition. The jumping over the broom at the weddings, tradition. You get what I'm saying? The teaching the boys how to work on cars and fix house stuff, tradition. The daughters in the tea parties, tradition. The sock hops, tradition. The Sadie Hawkins dance, where the girls have to ask the boys so they know how it feels, so they can have some respect, tradition. When these people talking about traditionalism, they don't know, they just saying the word. Because at this particular point, most of these people who are my age, a little older, a little younger, they don't do traditions. Why you think the girls don't never approach the guy in their life? That tradition is gone. The tradition of going to church and learning about God and the Lord, and more so the principles and morals, that tradition is gone. People don't do it. So now all this traditionalism is a fake word. But here's the interesting thing. Guys didn't do everything. Guys didn't pay for everything. That wasn't the tradition. I know people try to tell people, "Oh man, the men." No. The same era they're talking about where men made all this money is the same era where men was giving women money to pay the bills. That's the same exact era. It's not different. The women would go around and run the area. They say the man made all this money, but if he made all the money and did everything, well, how did the wife have money to go to the grocery store? How did the wife go to the cleaners? How did the wife have a car? How did the wife, have all these things to bake? How did they prey on these wives back in the day so they could buy not home improvement, but basically the stuff we think of now, the irons, the microwaves, the washers and dryer. The women they were giving their wives the money. That's what was going on. He went out in the world and worked, and while he was in the world working, if she was at home, and that's some white TV stuff that the wife was just at her home all the time. Home appliances, thank you, man. That she would run the errands during the day, so by the time they got home, everything was done. That's why over the years, the appliances made it easier. The home cooked meals, that was a tradition. The Sunday dinners was a tradition. Sitting at the table and eating with your family and talking was a tradition. This traditionalism stuff is just a word now. You look around at these people, they don't have traditions. And you can tell because from school to adults, people don't conduct themselves like they've been taught how to conduct themselves. But, but this goes back to the gender war thing. Because people want to blame somebody. Oh, no, that didn't die in the 70s because I was born in 79. I had to go through all of those things. Painting, painting windows, painting walls, cutting grass, fixing cars, working on electrical boxes, doing plumbing. I had to do all of that stuff. So it's like, oh, okay. The tradition became, oh, that's old, that's passe. We're above that. We don't need to do that. We're so evolved now to the point where ain't no more traditions. That's what happened. So now what people are actually looking for is somebody who can actually do everything that somebody else doesn't want to do on one end. And then on another end, somebody who remembers all the traditions and can implement them in people's lives. Because nowadays, basically, people are just saying, oh, I want to do what I want to do. I want to do what I want to do. And that's the reason, part of the reason for the gender war. Because people, the interesting thing that's purely idiotic is these people nowadays are talking about they want to be in relationships with people and just do whatever they want to do in a relationship and act like nothing, that's how it's supposed to be. No, it's not. It's a give and take. It's a give and take. You don't get with somebody and just say, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. That's why you're by yourself. Because you can't do whatever you want to do. And have another person being held with the consequences of it. That's an issue. That's psychotic. That's supremely selfish. That's the narcissism people talk about. Oh, I want to be in a relationship so I could be with everybody. If a guy say I want to be in a relationship so I could be with 5 different women, and you think the woman just supposed to stay for that? And if I have kids, side kids, if I have an STD, and I give it to her, she just got to deal with it. No. You might get hurt. That's how that'll roll. Same thing with the women. Oh, I want to be in a relationship and I want a man to pay for everything and I just have a soft life and I can talk to him like he crazy and disrespect him at a whim and he still take care of my life. Oh, you're stupid. Oh, you're stupid. You really think you're going to have somebody pay all the bills and let you run around and do absolutely nothing every day and you tell them I ain't going to do this and I ain't going to do that. By the way, I need some money to go get my hair done. You out of your mind. You're out of your mind. Stable job. And here's the crazy part with the hyper individualism. I don't think our society is individualistic now, because people are begging for everybody else to do something for them. When you're individualistic, you're like, I got it. Don't worry about it. I need the clothes washed. I got it. Car washed. I got it. House cleaned. I got it. Bills paid. I got it. That's a hyper individual. These people like, I need you to do it. I need you to pay the bills. I need you to wash the car. I need you to cook the food. I need you to, man, these are the laziest individualists I ever seen in my damn life. Yeah. So now it's like, like you said, the goalpost keeps being moved. Every day, it's a new goalpost. And here's the thing. For a lot of these people, for a lot of these people, I hope y'all understand this. But all of these stupid ideologies and stories, and they're all trends. They're all trends. People are just gonna walk away from you. And that's what a lot of people not getting. A lot of y'all getting mad because y'all follow the trend, whatever little trend it was at the time, you acted a complete utter ass when this trend was going. And then when you grew out of the trend, you want to act like everything you did for that 6 months to a year to 2 years didn't exist. No, dog, people left you. And now you're mad again. And you hop on another trend. It's no different than fashion. When people like, I tell my son, like, I don't like all these ski masks and poof shiesty masks and all that other stuff because you look dumb. You look stupid in the summertime with a ski mask on and a jacket on and some sweatpants on and some Crocs. So and you either overweight wearing it and burning up, or you 102 pounds, but you want to be a thug. Okay, who's gonna believe this? Nobody. But you gotta wait until 5 years from now to go, yeah, you see, that's you. Yeah, that's you. You see that? That was you at a high school homecoming with a ski mask on. Yeah, that was you. That was you at a graduation with a ski mask on. Yeah, that was you that in the hottest summer when it was 105 degrees on with a bubble coat, a long sleeve shirt, some black jeans, with a hoodie, by the way, and a ski mask and some Crocs and some long socks on. Yeah, that was you. Yeah, you had to lift your poo shiesty up to eat lunch. That was you at the airport with a ski mask on. And then when they need your ID, you got to show your face. And so you showed your face to get in the airport, and then you put it back down by the time you got to the gate, like an idiot. That was you. And they go, oh man, I don't know what I was thinking. I know what you was thinking. You was thinking I'm stupid, and I'm gonna show the world how stupid I am. It's the same thing. It's no different. Y'all doing the same thing. You know, that's why even with all these relationship conversations, that's why you see people from their 20s basically to their 60s now having all these ridiculous dumb stories. Oh, I'm a player. Okay, cool. And now you got I gotta do it because I'm going both. I'm gonna talk about the dudes that's crazy and the women that's crazy because it's crazy. Now you got Trick Daddy like people busted. You busted, dog. You busted too. Stop acting like you could be overweight, super ugly, and super sick, and you need a dime. Shut the fuck up. Now you got women and these women don't know, these young ladies don't know how to act. You 50 with a BBL looking for a young dude to smash you, granny. Shut up. Shut up. Because now the issue is people ain't dealing in reality. I don't want, see, the same way people talk about, what is that? The LGBT, the pronouns, you know, I am a he, him, them, they. Y'all doing the same thing with this relationship conversation, with this gender war conversation. You identified as independent. You identified as a real man. You identified as what you call that? As a high value man. You identified them as dusty. You identified him as broke. You identified this as 9 to 5. You identified as, what do you call that? Not a scammer, but y'all identified as scammers too. You identified as an entrepreneur. I see myself as a wife. You ain't never been a girlfriend. How you see yourself as a wife? Y'all doing stupid stuff. But when the trend ends, we're supposed to forget. When you were strong and independent, and then I don't want to be it anymore. I want to be a well-kept woman with a soft life. Man, shut up. You spent 5 years being strong and independent. I don't care that you had a mental breakdown now because the bills caught up with you. I don't care. That ain't men's fault. You chose it. You chose it. Some of y'all was playing that game. Hey, man, it ain't tricking if you got it. Cool. I don't want to hear your story about it's all these hoes out here. You've been a trick for 10 years. Shut the fuck up. You know, oh, man, you know, they only out here for money. Bro, wasn't you the one that told me I ain't got to work out? I got money. That was you. That was you. Then y'all want to play this game of, you know, you want to be sexually liberated? Cool. But then you want to turn around, I need somebody to be with me for me because I shouldn't be all about sex. You've been advertising sex for the last 15 years. I'm sorry. You put yourself out there as a sexual object. And I need to be seen more than what I showed myself to be. Look, man, I ain't finna play this fantasy. It's in my heart. I'm a different person. In my mind, if you see me at 11:30 and in the sunshine, if you squint your eyes real hard, you'll see the angel that I am. Man, listen, you was giving head last night to a stranger, and you've been doing that frequently for the last 10 years. Nobody want to hear this angel story. I'm sick of it now. That's what I'm talking. The gender war is gonna continue because people gonna continuously make these ridiculous demands that make people go, huh? And by the way, here's the other thing. Oh boy. Here's the other thing. I really don't understand how some of y'all could actually have conversations anymore, because one of the reasons the gender war continues is because actually a lot of people y'all don't listen well, and y'all don't have good comprehension skills. So even when I see the men and the women interacting, I see why you by yourself. If somebody said one thing and you go, well, I thought you said, I felt like you said, but what if you would have said this instead of what you said? Because I don't want to deal with what you said. I want to deal with what I said you said. Yeah. Ain't nobody dealing with that, man. You out of your mind. See, you can't have a conversation with somebody who can't listen to a conversation. That becomes a mess, a issue. What is this? Let me see. Yeah, like, and then the worst part, and I gotta say this. Why can't y'all just admit, look, man, in all honesty, I just want to do hoe shit. It would be so much easier. It'll be so much easier. That, like, some of you guys, man, I'm just trying to look for a woman. No, you not. You looking for a hoe. You want some hoes. Stop acting like you looking for a woman to be. No. The guys that's looking for hoes want to talk like they looking for wives. The women that's looking for hoes want to talk like they looking for husbands. Just say, look, it's okay. Be honest. You trying to get your back blown out, but you want to lie and say it's something else. You trying to get some super head, but you trying to lie and say it's something else. And then, I can't believe she did me like that. Shut up. You can't believe she did you like that. When you was looking for back shots from this girl. I can't believe she not down with me. Man, get out of here. I can't believe that he did me like this. Did you like what? You met somewhere out at a bar. You talk like you had the best sex on the planet. Y'all left the bar. Y'all might have talked a little bit. Maybe a couple of weeks or a couple of days. Y'all might have had sex that night. And now all of a sudden you a victim. Y'all better stop playing. I'm not like I'm sick of y'all playing this. You met it. See, here's where I get disgusted with people. Y'all meeting people nowadays and sending them naked pictures on a phone in a couple of days, couple of hours. And then y'all mad that, oh man, I wanted more. What? And some of y'all got y'all naked pictures saved for, for usage. Like, hey, let me put this one out. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that one in the rotation. Man, if you don't get out of here, it don't make no sense. If I met you Monday and Tuesday, I ain't see you naked in person, but I seen you naked already. Don't act like you looking for love. Y'all, same thing what you do. I'm gonna send my meat out, through the iPhone. Man, if you don't shut up, man, she was with everybody. Bro, you putting your meat on the phone in pictures here, there, everywhere. And how do I know this? I told y'all I was outside for real. I had female friends that they kept a Rolodex of meat. The fine ones were collected for the ugly ones. Like, let me show you. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. Y'all tripping out here. Then we're gonna have this whole other conversation about why there's a gender war. It's gonna continue because of presentation. And I ain't just talking about, the sexual part. If you're gonna advertise, if you're gonna project a certain image about yourself, stop looking for the opposite of that. It don't make sense. If you wanted to project that you're in shape, you're not projecting to be in shape to be with somebody that's obese. So if you want to be tatted up, don't go, I need somebody that ain't got all them tattoos. Shut up. You got tatted up, you're going to be with somebody that's got tatted up. That don't look the way I like it. Didn't nobody tell you to do all that stupid shit? You ain't even got a rhyme or reason to have 150 tattoos over your body. It don't make sense. Then the older you get, the dumber it look. I'm going to just be honest with you. Because most of you people don't stay in shape. So now you you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. Man, you your own book that you covered. What we talking about? You want to be hood? You're going to be with somebody hood. Don't want to hear it. I can't. I need somebody a little bit more sophisticated. Well, be more sophisticated then. I don't want to see a picture of you with a grill talking about you looking for somebody sophisticated. Shut your punk ass up. I want to be with a freak. Well, if you want to be with a freak, you're going to be with a freak. They had to be a freak with a bunch of other people to be a freak. Stop acting like I want a freak that's a virgin that only will be freaky with me because they better not have never done anything. I want to be the person to turn them out. Man, shut your punk ass up. Guess what? You ain't the first person that did that freaky shit to them. You might be the 31st. You want a freak, deal with freaks. But you play this game, it's the and that's why I said the gender war continues because y'all want to do stuff y'all don't want to stay in y'all lane. I need to be around intelligent people, but you stupid. Why do stupid? You think intelligent people want to be around stupid people all the time? No. I deserve to be around somebody that's intelligent and has. Nah, I don't want to hear all that. You dumb. You dumb. You can't bring nothing to the conversation. You want to get with somebody that's smart and you stupid. There's nothing to talk about. You're an idiot. But maybe they could teach me how to, bitch, if all your teachers in grade school and high school and college, if you made it that far, couldn't teach your dumb ass shit, why the fuck you think somebody that you in a relationship with all of a sudden gonna teach you all this shit? Man, y'all stupid. You're doing stupid stuff. I need to get with an entrepreneur, with a CEO. Look. And what are you an entrepreneur of? Huh? Just cause you begging niggas for shit on dates doesn't make you an entrepreneur. Just because somebody with money took you out to an expensive restaurant doesn't make you, oh, I deserve a CEO and I went to a steakhouse. Shut your broke ass up. It's too many of you lazy people who've been around hardworking rich people who swear to God that you deserve it. You ain't worked 16 hours ever in your fucking life. It don't make sense. But then y'all get mad when people go, hey man, you know, people just aren't up to par. Up to par? Up to par with what? With what? What exactly are you that's so up to par? And let me do this too also. Because I gotta say this, I gotta add this to this, because it's part of the gender war too. All you bisexual women, you need to get the hell out of talking about dating men. Every last one of y'all. Y'all are not in the heterosexual community. Because what y'all bisexual chicks do is y'all date bad men and date bad women, so you say, and then you bring gay men to talk about what straight men aren't doing when your ass go both ways. And now you bring in gay dudes to gay dudes to heterosexual relationships, and then you got, gay girls coming to the aid of, bisexual women. Man, if y'all get out of here with that, keep y'all relationships over there. Keep the rainbow to the rainbow. Because y'all good for that. Y'all good for, leaving a rainbow for the sausage fest and going back to the rainbow. And here's the other thing about that. If you bad at relationships with both genders, you're the problem. So leave it alone. You're the problem. Because you add stuff into the quote unquote gender war that don't belong in the gender war. Then, and what I'm about to say, in my opinion, this is important. The other reason the gender war continues is because if you're an adult and you have kids, for the love of God, stop indoctrinating your kids to hating the opposite sex. Because this is where a lot of this starts. You're a parent, you got issues with your baby daddy, your baby mama, and you teach your kids this same bitterness, and then they're going out with little kids and they're acting a complete ass. And then they're in grade school with the same thing. Then they're in high school and the same thing. And y'all don't realize that there are people, your kids have traumatized other kids because of your BS. And y'all ain't telling y'all kids the truth. And that's the worst part about it. So now your kid has all of this animosity towards the opposite sex. Well, I said this way. You teach your girls to hate the boys. You teach the boys to hate the boys. And then the boys wind up getting their feelings hurt by the girls that you taught to hate them. And then the boys go, uh-oh, nah, I'm done. We enemies. And then now teenagers ain't getting along. college age young men and women ain't getting along. And grown men and women ain't getting along. And it all stems from you being upset. Shakira Richardson is bisexual. That's what her problem is. You got to remember, she had a girlfriend before she had a boyfriend. She keep going back and forth and back and forth. And that's also part, thank you for saying that too, Frame. That's also part of why the gender war continues. Y'all keep teaching these young ladies that it's okay to be disrespectful and violent with boys. And then they be violent with boys. And I know it as an adult. To this day, you get women who think it's okay if I do something that can destroy a man's life because I'm mad. All right. Okay. Just understand that's about that. With all of these cameras, it's a two-way street now. Less and less people are believing, oh man, what did he do? Well, he was violent. He shouldn't have did this. Less and less people are doing that because y'all have taught these ladies to be so out of pocket and so disrespectful and so violent, it doesn't dawn on you they're doing this everywhere. In restaurants, when they're not on, when no men's around, no men that they're dating are around, with other women. You got these guys out here, half of this, to this day, sound like Deontay Wilder, to this day, still to this day, all you guys with these ops, half of that's around chicks. But the difference is nowadays, y'all getting into it for chicks that ain't even messing with y'all. And I ain't even talking about like somebody lied on somebody. No, y'all getting into it about chicks that used you. She played you for whatever, and you jealous because she with somebody else for real. And now now you at odds with another guy. Y'all tripping. And adding another part of this is, and I had to add on to this nowadays. One of the reasons why the gender war continues is because too many people on drugs. Because y'all getting into these situations high and drunk, high more so than drunk nowadays. But y'all getting into these situations high, and you don't really know what really happened because you altered already. So what you thought you heard ain't really what you heard. What you thought you saw ain't really what you saw. The issues you having ain't really the issue. And I'm gonna tell you, and I can take this to a real story back in the day. When I was like in my 20s to my 30s, people was doing ecstasy in Mali, and they would go out to clubs. And the issue with people used to love women who liked ecstasy in Mali. And the reason they did, because the women who like ecstasy in Mali would go out and they would be dressed provocative like the other chicks. But if you touch them, their senses were heightened. So they was real freaky. But the problem with it is they'll take the ecstasy or the Molly them on their own because they were little horny freaks like that. But then they'll do a whole bunch of freaky stuff that night and then wake up in the morning, no recollection of what happened, and be like, what happened? How am I here? What did you do? And it's like, not, and I knew, like, I would meet chicks. They'd be like, let's do such. Like, no, I'm leaving you alone. I'm leaving. No, you not finna. I'm not finna smash you when you wake up in the morning and don't know what happened. And because I knew it was guys who went to jail like that, and it was women who wound up on, how can I say this, on amateur porn videos like that. It's like, I don't know what happened. Because it wasn't just the women that got drugged that was doing it. It was the women that that was drugging themselves and doing stuff. And they would go, I don't know. So it's like, So that also gets the gender war going because people aren't in their right mind. Oh, my bad, LL, my bad. I don't. Yeah, man. Look, listen, man. The stories I don't tell. You know what I'm saying? I like I say it this way because I can tell you a few different stories, but I can make them quick. I went on a date. Uh, a dude. It was a pretty like it was like black night in this establishment, and white guy came in with a white girl. She was looking for black guys. He was basically a cuck. So the girl that I was with was like, "I'm gonna go to the bathroom," and the white girl was like, "Hey, let's go to the bathroom too." And she's like, "I want to go with you." That's fine. So she's telling the girl that I'm with about what she's trying to do. And the girl, when she get back to me, she's like, "Listen, we got to get out of here." I was like, "What she do?" She said, "Man, this girl was trying to offer me cocaine in the in the bathroom." I was like, "I don't want to be around this heifer." That's the white girl looking for BBC. But then there's a black chick that I know. She would take Molly and go to the nightclubs. And when she would take Molly and go to the nightclub, it was like it basically it was going down. So she'd take it before she go in, and after once it kicks in, she ready to do whatever. So she would take it, go in, start dancing, and and whoever was what she was feeling before it kicked in, that's who she was with. And then they start feeling on her touch, and then she started getting freaky. She gone. And then talk to her. A few days later, I woke up in the hotel, and it was two dudes in a camcorder. I'm like, that's the third time this has happened, right? Like, what we talking about? Like, I think they did something, but it's like they did. But in my mind, I'm like, oh, they did something. They did something. This is not something. This is not a one-off thing. You do this. You know, knew another chick who, if I tell y'all, you know what? Okay. Knew another chick that liked to go out and party like that and get towed up. And she was married. And she got a train rent on the hotel. And she got pregnant from the train. And then had to have an abortion. And was arguing with her husband to cover up that she was pregnant and having an abortion because because if he would have found out what she was really doing, he would have divorced her. So like, and when I say that's just the tip of the iceberg of stuff. Just the tip of the iceberg, right? So, but I can say this with the guys. I knew a girl who was a stripper who had a pimp. By the way, this guy was the worst pimp of all time. So the pimp, he was pimping her out, but he liked her. So a trick came by to to pay for her services, and the pimp got involved, and they tag teamed his prostitute, and the trick's condom broke, and the pimp didn't use the condom, and the prostitute got pregnant, and the pimp had to take care of the kid because he didn't know whose it was. And these are the type of people 5, 10 years later that'll be talking to you about what's wrong with the opposite sex. These are the type of people. You get what I'm saying? Like he said, say what? Yeah. These are the type of people. The type of people that'll be that like I had some of y'all live in an apartment complex. I told this story a long time ago. A friend of mine, well, yeah, friend of mine was like women ain't out here ain't doing yada yada yada. We having a conversation, and I was like, yo, didn't you tell me your friend was sleeping with her neighbor who was either married or was in a relationship where they lived in the same apartment, and when a girl would go to work, she would sneak to the apartment and sleep with the dude the whole time because he didn't have a job at the time. Didn't you tell me that? But you don't know what these people be doing. You know, it's most. Oh, yeah. Ray says, is Houston wild? Yeah, but and Ray ain't wrong too. People come here, people live here, and people visit here. So it's different. You know, it's different. But these are the type of people that'll tell you, this is what's wrong with the opposite sex. This is what people are doing. It's like, yeah, I know that's what people are doing because you're doing it. See, y'all, like you're rarely hearing stories of people who go and listen. I was a good husband or a good wife and I got done dirty. I was a good boyfriend or a good girlfriend and I got done dirty. No, usually what you're hearing is people who out here doing the most, and really they get upset because there's no nice way to say this. People fall off. Matter of fact, boy, let me say this. Let me say this. No, I can't. Oh, that one I can't. I can't. If I said that one, they ought to be like, "What the fuck?" So, how can I put this? I got a way to say this. So, all right. So for the guys who don't know this, so a lot of guys who are well off, like that DeAndre Ayton situation where he kicked the girl out in Turks and Caicos. So let me say this: there's the guys who got a lot of money, a lot of status, right? Let's just go athletes and entertainers, right? Y'all don't really know the amount of action these guys get. You really don't. You think you do, but you really don't. These fools get a lot of action. So, with that being said, what you don't understand about that is it's a lot of women in regular day-to-day lives that even some of the people you see in talking relationships on the internet and all that stuff, some of them it's been athletes and entertainers 57th side chick. You get what I'm saying? That's why I say they get a lot of action. A lot of y'all don't realize, like, you got to take it back in the day. Athletes and entertainers before the internet used to have girls in different cities. Now, with the advent of the internet and flying people out, y'all don't realize how much these people get flew out. And the interesting thing is, a lot of this bitterness and a lot of this materialism comes from being flew out. So a lot of people get mad because they thought they was they was really gonna come up by sleeping with somebody of means, and they're mad because they're not the one. Because part of the whole materialism thing comes from that. It comes straight from that. I remember seeing what's your boy name? He a rapper, but Blueface. I remember him saying in an interview, they said, "How many women you slept with?" He said 1,000. This was like 3, 4, 5 years ago, because I think he was on Big Boy radio show. I want to say it was Big Boy. He said 1,000. And it doesn't dawn on you. It ain't 1,000. That's 1,000 different women. And 80% of them thought they was gonna be the one. And y'all don't realize how many chicks have done this. You know, that's why people go. Oh, that's why people are mad, because people feel like they're owed and entitled because they went to this hotel, they went to on this trip, they went to this concert, they was in this car. You know, I was on this boat. That's why all these people on these yachts now. You know what they doing on them yachts? No phone service, player. So you constantly have this stuff happening over and over and over and over again. You know, so at the end of the day, it's like, listen, man, y'all gonna learn, you know, the gender war is from the bitterness of not getting all the money. And that's why you see, how can I say this? How can I say this? That's why you see more extreme forms of Me Too. That's why you see like Shannon Sharp gets sued by the young girl and the old lady who just said you mentioned me. That's why you see that. Because there's less and less long-term interactions. There's less and less there's less and less issues where people are being together for years and years, and they go, oh, we not together no more, I'm suing. That's happening less and less. It's just a bunch of random stuff going on. Now, boys, the things I don't say, I swear to God, like, the things I be wanting to say, boy. And the other thing about the gender war, I say that it continues, is the family court. The family court makes it worse. Like, the family court makes it worse. These families make it worse because they're involved with the BS. If a dude's a deadbeat, as a father, his family is it's too often too cool with that. And if a mother's a sorry baby mama, her family's cool with that. So it adds to the gender war. And can't nobody fix it. Yeah, it's like you need a down payment. You kinda do. And oh man, dog, L.A.R. Boy, I swear, if I said some of the things I do know, y'all be like, what the you know what? I have a perfect way to describe this. That's why there are all these housewife shows. It's that bad. Think about it. That's the best way I can say. It's that bad. That's what the reality dating shows and the housewife shows are really a synopsis of that. Because most of the women on them shows had no actual occupation. They just was smashing a rich dude. You could think about that from Flavor of Love, the Ray J one, Basketball Wives, Housewives of blah blah blah, Love and Hip Hop. Most of them people didn't have a job, ever. Their job was just being cute and having sex. That's what happened. So it's so bad that they can make TV shows about it. Yeah, Lover Ocho. It's the same. Yeah, same thing. They had one on Netflix just recently. And I ain't talking about Love Island. I'm talking about with the football players. Because Ocho was on that. Ocho and Tyreek Hill, Robbie. I said Robbie Anderson, if I'm not mistaken. It's a few people on that. But it's the same issue over and over and over and over and over again. So all of this beefing is from that. You get what I'm saying? It's a lot of beefing coming from that. And it's not going to stop. And the reason I'm going to say it's not going to stop is because of this. As people see the economy getting worse and worse, and more people say they're struggling, and I've said it before, I didn't tell my wife about this. It's gonna be a lot of polygamy going down. There's gonna be a lot of people who have to settle and who have to be in polygamous relationships. And I done showed some of my homeboys that's on this app. I've shown them. There's people I know. You be like, wait a minute, that they doing a yes, yeah. So dudes who gotta, if he's single and if he anywhere from 30. No, let me say 25 to 40, and he's single, and he got like a house or a duplex or a townhouse, and he's single. Oh, he gonna have about two. He could have about 2-3 chicks in there. Seriously. Because people like, because you see the advertisement for it. You see more women like, I do it. There's a whole underbelly of this, because it's the women with kids ain't available to do it. But it's a lot of women who either their kids are grown or they don't have kids. And they're tired and they getting squeezed by being single. Because it's expensive. You know. So y'all, so I'm just saying. So you see the women who, she might be 40, 45, and her kid might be 20, 25. Oh, yeah. She going. It's a girl that might be 28, 32. She don't have no kids. She going. And it's a dude sitting around like, hey, well, you know what? I really don't want commitment. I want a couple of chicks, and I ain't gotta hide it. Let's just go. You know, if I'm paying the bills, let's just go ahead and do it. And people don't want to admit that's something they're willing to do, and that's a deal they're willing to make. They the ones. It ain't just the ones that party. I mean, it's people who really getting killed by the workforce. You got to think about it. Some of these people got student loans that they killing. That's killing them. Some of these people got credit card debt that's killing them. Some of these people got these car loans that's killing them. So if you get with somebody and they willing to have, you can still work, but you can pay all your stuff off, they going. And they're gonna be guys who take advantage of that, and they're gonna be girls who make that deal, and they're gonna be people on the outside who wish they could do that. And that's gonna be a whole issue, because is this really kind of like a polygamous tricking relationship? Yep, it is. And you see people who are in monogamous relationships trying to tiptoe their way back into the streets because they like, man, I could actually get a better deal. That's what they think. That's what a lot of people think. Like a lot of people in relationships, like I know a bunch of people is like, because I know people from their 30s to 50s that got divorced to be back in the streets. And they're coming to the realization, I should have never got divorced. You know what I'm saying? They had fun for a little bit, but then it went all downhill. You know, like a lot of this stuff is just based in people wanting a free ride and want to have a lot of sex. And what I'm about to say is gonna be trifling. The people that want a free ride, and I've seen this already. If you're a person who wants a free ride when you're younger, you're gonna wind up old with nothing. Nothing. Because you wanted a free ride the whole time. So if you thought your looks was gonna get you by in your 20s and 30s, by the time you get to your 40s, you gonna have nothing but a bunch of pictures. And if you're a person who like I want to have sex, okay, you gonna wind up with probably nothing because everything that you how can I say that you accumulated, you spent most of it chasing sex or paying for sex. So what you see now at the end of it is a lot of people who are on the back end of these situations who have nothing to show for all of their sexuality and materialism on the internet talking all this shit. See, when you find, it's all good. Like you jealous, okay, all right. But if you find and you 40 and you ain't got nothing to show for it in life, you're an idiot. Same thing with the guys. I got money, man. I got money. It's cool. But if you got monies in your 20s and 30s and you lost a bulk of your money and you haven't like really been married, it wasn't in divorce, you lost a bulk of your money from tricking off and child support, you're an idiot. And people don't want to say, hey man, yeah. I've known people who've been worth tens of millions of dollars who may be worth a low seven or high six figures now because of sex. That's why. And they tell you, I had fun. Nigga. No, you didn't. No, you didn't, because it ain't worth it now. It ain't worth it now. It's the same thing as being on drugs. No people who wasted a gang of money getting high got nothing to show for it. Right, you're right. People do look at you funny. That's why you see all these people trying to, you see a certain people trying to get back in shape and get themselves back together because they got to get themselves back out in the market because they done wasted 20 years. Wasted. And that's part of this gender war. One of the underlying or overarching things about it is there's a lot of people who wasted their youth, who are mad because they thought what they was doing was going to actually get them to the top. They thought that was the end all be all. And it wasn't. And that's why you see, I hate to say it, going back to the political thing, that's why you see these cats go from relationships to politics. Why? Because when they in the relationship sector, they get you right there, and then they go to politics because they get old and fat. That's what they get old and fat, and they try to be bougie. So it's like, man, well, you know what? Can't nobody tell me I'm a failure if I'm talking politics, because politics is so ambiguous that as long as you say something that people think that they agree with, they'll roll with it. It's like, I see it from a mile away. Because that's all you doing. Or entertainment to politics. Yeah, it's the same thing. And the gender war is part of it. Same thing with people who play that game where I'm going to be with this race because they're better than that race. I seen them come and go. I seen the black chicks who wanted white, I'm going to get with white men. White men called them niggas from all day of the week. And 4 years later, they back to black men because they just can't take it. They've been with white men for 10 years. They never got a baby. And they've been called nigga all this time. And then now they finally can't do it no more. I seen the black dudes. I just want to be with the whites. I want to be with the exotic. Yep, you sure do. And then they do you dirty and dog you out, and all you do is sit there and smile Cause you can't tell the brothers like, yeah, man, I got I got with the white chick and she running me over, dog. I can't. But who am I supposed to tell? I got with the Hispanic chick and God, she cussing me out every day. You know, these bitches act worse than black women. You got to keep it to yourself. You know, they get you for your money and walk out and you act like nothing ever happened. You know, y'all have kids together and now the kids hate black people. And you sitting in there looking like a half coon, like, yeah, this is what you wanted. This is what you wanted. Yeah, it's crazy. But then it goes back to it's the other people. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. It's gonna continue because people keep playing this game, playing the game over and over and over again. You know. Oh no, it ain't just the hood ones. Man. Look, bro, I've seen the gamut of them. I've seen the gamut of them. You know, I've seen. Like when you get to a certain part, there's a certain segment of black people who don't date black people because they want to be a special Negro. And they find themselves around everybody non-black because they play the culture game. I just like the culture and the culture. That's not why they over there. Because they can date a black person that's just like them, but they won't. Like I don't, and I'm gonna use it as a political sense. Brandon Tatum wouldn't date Candace Owens, and Candace Owens wouldn't date Brandon Tatum. They the same motherfucker. The same, but they wouldn't date each other. It's not like those people don't exist. It's that they want to be in a special, you know, and I want to be with these people so they make me feel like I'm the special one around them. That's how that goes. That's how that goes. So that's part of it, you know. But those people start blaming everything that goes on with the gender on the opposite sex. Like, I ain't look. Hey, if that's what you want, that's what you want. That's what you want. If you it ain't because to me, I've learned like there's interracial dating, and there's people who are really just they swirling. You know, everything that's not them because it works both ways. You know, it works both ways. Like I've seen, you know, white Hispanics, not really Asians, because it's not not as easy, but more so white and Hispanics date black people, and then they try to act ultra hood, and it's like, hey, what the fuck is you doing? Like I can't if you really want to be honest, I can't really take you to the hood. You know why you can't? Because the shit you doing right now get your ass whooped. Like that's why I can't. Like if you really from the hood, you can't take a person who's not black to the hood who's trying to act like they're hood. That shit ain't gonna work well. It's gonna go left, and it's gonna go left fast. But people don't, you know, they don't put two and two together with that shit. Exactly. But it goes all the way back to this is part of the gender war because you want to say something's better because everybody wants to be better than. And that's the issue. You want to be better than the opposite sex. I want to be better than somebody. I want to be known as better than this person. So you're going to always be in a situation where even if you're not better than somebody, you're going to disrespect somebody because you want to seem like you better, and which is going to cause animosity. If you can't get along with people, just don't get along with people. Just stay by your damn self. But it's an issue. But let me, man, it's 6 o'clock, man. Let me get out of here, man. Check on my wife. So, man, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I don't know how to cut this thing off on live. I'm guessing it's this button here because I rarely do it on my phone. So catch you on the next one, man. Peace.